All right, hello everybody. I am here for a golf clash tutorial video here. This is a live stream here, and as you can see, my bag is set up with common clubs only, and the purpose for this is a playoff event that I am about to play. It is against one of the fellow elite members, and we are going to get underway here momentarily. You see I got my ball, and this is going to be with common clubs, common ball, which means only blue clubs, and basic ball only, so no side spin, no wind resistance, none of that. And this is the final match of a playoff event called the Classic. It was a playoff event for the top 32, I believe, qualifiers in the world for this event. So if you are unfamiliar with what it is basically, a group of guys, a couple hundred, in the hundreds, maybe up to, there might be 1,000 members at this point or so. I'm not 100% sure, but what we basically do is, just set up random tournaments like this. And the tournament was basically 3 tournaments of basic ball common clubs, Tour 3 only. And this is basically the final event of that playoff. We did 3 rounds like this, and the most points out of those 3 events, the top 32 players made it to this event, and it has been basically single elimination like a bracket, and this is match number 31. So this is the concluding match, and if you guys are unfamiliar or want to be a part of that group, you can feel free to still join. They are starting up a new group. Registration is open right now for, and it is going to be Tour 2 basic clubs, like beginner clubs, or Tour 1 only for Tour 2 courses. So you have to play Tour 2, and it's kind of a best of, it's like a match play format for race to 4 basically. This game here is going to be a race to 6. So it is basically, first, either me or Kenny here, whoever gets to 6 first is going to be, the winner. And so good luck to Kenny. And let's see if he is on already. And if he is, I would just, friend shootout. Okay. So he is there. He is online. And we got a couple minutes. I kind of went over everything. I actually did disable my comments on the device here, so I cannot follow along with you guys. It's just going to be a little bit distracting for me in terms of for this event, so I was just going to, just kind of briefly discuss everything, and hopefully, anything I can go on and try to check the feed later, and maybe try to find a way to comment on you guys afterwards. So I do have that, that's why you don't see them flashing up on my screen like usual. And let's see here if I can't grab Kenny here. There he is in the menu. I don't ever remember playing Kenny, but oh yeah, now I do. We played for the, let's see if I can't send him an invite. See if he responds to it. So we are off. Looks like as long as we connect here. Like I said, it is going to be a race to 6. And there we are connecting. So good luck to Kenny, and hopefully we can put together some good shots for you guys to see. So we're already starting off with a little bit of wind on this hole. So I like to play this hole with either downwind or side wind. Into the wind gets it a little bit more frustrating. As you can see, Kenny kind of, trying to bend it around that bunker a little bit. It gets a little bit tight to maneuver that ball. So as you can see, anything into the wind makes this hole a little bit more interesting for sure. I am going to go ahead and I like to kind of hook it a little bit when we get a wind like this. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully I can pull that off, not too bad. Just kind of keeps the bunkers a little bit more out of play. Lets you be able to get up there, not too bad. So I think just making sure that you hit the fairway is kind of the key. You should still be able to, get it up there, kind of bend it around, get it on the green somewhere. So if you guys are in here, let's check on this. 40 people. Thanks for showing up, guys. Hopefully a few more people come in and join in on the action. If not, it'll be available for replay. I'll probably go back and try to watch a little bit of it later. Let's see where we're at here. So I like to play a bump shot here off this rough, as long as I put it in position to do so. I usually play pretty close to 2 per ring on this hole, since it's so uphill. And of course I hit a great ball, so it's not going to matter too much. It's definitely going to push off to the left here, no question. And this hole plays significantly uphill, so that's one of the reasons that this is probably one of the most uphill holes in the entire game. I'd like to know what the elevation number is on it. It makes all your clubs play significantly uphill. So if you ever find yourself missing your marks on this hole, distance-wise, that might be something that you want to look into, is to figure out if you might be overplaying the wind. That's the common mistake on this hole, because if you were going solely off of rings, you would probably be off by at least, typically you have to play at least, an additional 30% in basically all cases on this hole. So just something to keep in mind. And here you see we are getting the first tiebreaker hole. So let's see here what I can do with this one. I usually play a little bit backspin when it's downwind like this. Just missing on the front. This hole is the, kind of the little funnel. You just have to kind of be close with your aim, and you can get it in a large portion. This wind here makes it just a little bit more challenging when it gets up high like this, because it tends to, the ball starts to deviate from the trail a little bit, what it shows. But, this is the one hole where you just kind of got to be close with your aim. You don't have to be perfect. I've even, had fair amount of, great balls, especially to the left. If you play the slope, which I do, and then pull it to the left, you can get it to go in at, caught that fringe. That's unlucky. So a little bad break there. So like I previously mentioned, it is a race to 6, and in case you guys who are just joining us, maybe a little bit late, it is first to get to 6 games. So it is going to be somewhat of a lengthy playoff event here. I have to play, at minimum 6 games and at maximum 11 games, so could be looking at, hour and a half for a match. It's a pretty long time, but should be pretty fun. I do like, bringing out these basic balls and basic clubs. Just makes things a little bit more interesting. So let's see if I can't get this down there too, into that other fairway. I like doing mine with a hook shot slice. So I usually aim about 3 targets worth. So I see my right of my target be the center of the fairway, and then I'll just stack them. And more or less that'll put me in the ballpark of where it needs to be. Just hit the rough there, but it usually comes in, with a little bit more momentum. I did hit that rough though on the second hop, which kind of restricts it a little bit, but not the end of the world. This shot is very straightforward. I like to do kind of a backspin sniper, very similar to this. Don't use very much of the hill. I do a very similar shot myself. There's some guys who go and at least, give it an extra yard or two just to kind of play the hill. Well, I'm more of kind of just a straightforward guy on this. I like to keep it kind of low. And if it just misses left, sometimes it still catches, just comes down the hill like 1 fraction of a yard. So let's see if I can't do something reasonable. Try to give this a run here. So I always, size up. Am I mid club? Am I max club? I'll play right about a ring and a half here for my aim. At 1.7, I'm going to play it right around 1.1, so. $1.1 per ring. Just too much. So you see what I was talking about, how it passed the hole just a little bit. If I do that on the left side of the cup, which I almost underplayed the wind a little bit just to do that, if it does it to the left, it'll sometimes just barely roll down into the cup. And that's why I kind of like that, to not go too high up the hill. Of course, you can go way up the hill too and get it to come back down. It's just the way that you have to miss it is a little bit different. You have to miss it like a couple yards to the left to get it to roll back down the hill when you take it a little bit more higher into the hill there. So shootout number 2 here. And they usually do a pretty good job of rotating the holes. Of course, in Tour 3, we're basically going to play we're going to end up basically only playing Sakura Hills here, and it's really usually pretty even divided here. So you won't see the same holes over and over and over. It'll usually be very well divided, which is good. Yeah, a little early with that release. Probably going to push my ball out to the right of the cup. I like doing, notice how I'm doing like a stop shot there. I can usually control the distance. Had I missed it, perfect ball there, it would have stopped very close to the hole. And that's kind of the reason that I like that stop shot for this hole. But pulling it a ring there is going to be not very good. It's a little bit easier to, if you do play the fairway and just let it gracefully roll down the slope here. Let's see the way he goes about it. But if you do play the fairway, you can, if you have good distance control, this hole almost acts like a funnel on the left side, and everything will just kind of feed to the hole if you miss left here. So it is usually a better miss to miss left, for sure. And that's kind of what I was mentioning, how it just kind of feeds in. Another par 5 here. I usually do the same thing with this one, just kind of do a hook approach right down the middle. So I usually put the right of my bullseye about where I'm setting up this aim right here. So you'll see me do that, and then stack like as before on the other hooks that I did. Stack 3. Not the greatest wind to pull that shot off, because the more left you go there, the more that you're kind of rotating the wind in your face. So you can hit a little bit longer straight on that wind for sure, just a tiny bit. But you don't really need length. I've only got to this green one time with these with quarterback, so it's really a low percentage that you can get to this green in too. So it's more about positioning anyway. So you really don't need the longest drive here. And what I usually do here is a skip shot into the fairway. And you'll notice that the wind is 1.5. I will account for 2 rings to make sure that I don't go long here. I do prefer it in the left fairway as opposed to going over to the right. There's times you can get it over there to short iron range. I'll actually be relatively close to short iron range. That's one of the reasons that I like to skip it over there, but I've also grown to like that angle as well. I've been having just a little bit more success over there for some reason. So there you are seeing Kenny put it, and that's, the other spot. I like being over there too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, if I have my preferred method, I just like coming this way if at all possible. And as you can see, I'm almost to where I want it. I'm right at min club here for the way that I'm going to go about playing this. So for this one, I'm going to go just a little bit more than a ring. And just use the back slope. That's pretty close, but it might miss. Just barely. So just fractions of an inch off. And that's all it takes in this setup. And here comes another one. Let's see what this looks like. It looks pretty good. A little outside. Yep, just a tiny bit. As you can see, especially with the winds being slower, very small winds. This tour is very much revolves around precision. And same with the next tournament. It'll be Tour 2. The winds will even be, I think, even a tiny bit smaller than this. I don't remember I think you can even get, I think you usually in Tour 3 it's like 1 to 5. But I think you can even get 0 to, maybe 0 to 4 in Tour 2. So the winds die down even more. Might still be 0 to 5, but I know you can have some very small winds. So you have to be very on with your marks. So usually the guys who have Saturn on the bag are doing so more for dunk capabilities. And the way that they have to play this pretty much 100% of the time is off that rough. They can also go off the fairway sometimes. Maybe very downwind, but and you'll see that I have backbone on. This shot is less effective for me because I really can't get the topspin necessary to get it grooved up there perfect. Ooh, and this one's coming in a little bit deep. It's unlucky. Sometimes when you're riding that slope, it comes in perfect and it hits just the right amount of fairway, but it can vary greatly. And that's what you're seeing there. And backbone is just to the point where I can play this shot off the rough here. So that's usually the method that I'll use here. And I usually play this right around 3 rings or so. On a 3.5. So I was able to sneak that one in off the rough. I can't always do that, but downwind I will be able to. So there's a chance that I'm going to have to play the fairway shot over to the left, which I'm sure you guys are well aware of. That's kind of the normal way to play it, especially with a Guardian, would be off that fairway. I do similar in Tour 3 with a Backbone. So probably have to do that before this match is over. We'll see. And I usually aim at this middle of this fairway, so see where my bullseye is. I'm going off the right of my bullseye here, and since the wind is 5 to the left, you know, I'm just gonna aim here and just not adjust for that like I usually do, and just go 3 bullseyes from this location and do a normal hook shot, slice shot, which would be, you know, with the phone, no additional curl. It usually gives you just a little bit more right momentum, and makes lining it up just a tiny bit easier than if you were to just play the right side of the fairway here and skip it over the bunker. My ball is actually very left there, so I'm almost in the range where I might be right at the end of my short iron there. You want to be, typically when you do this drive, you want to be a little bit more right than that. And that one's well done. I think that's a little bit better than mine, I believe. So let's see if I can get it up there. I just can. Look at that. Within a yard. And this is going to be about a dunk here. Right around 2/3 of a ring. So there you see 2/3 of a ring in the hole. Caught the pin a little bit high there, but it did go in. I'm assuming the wind should be equally low here. It's pretty much the preferred method here. It makes it a little bit easier. Other than that, you got to play it off the fringe. And towards max distance, it's a little bit uphill. So with claw, you're looking at 1.5 per ring at max club. And it is a little bit uphill, so you usually want to, what you can see Kenny doing here, he's putting, you know, the bullseye, the outer ring, on the left edge of the cup, which is a really good way to do this, because what that does is, ooh, he's short, just short, ooh. So he was just a little bit short there. But what I was mentioning about his aim there, it was pretty spot on. That's exactly how you want to, you know, line yours up if you're doing yours, you know, going for that dunk shot. He was close to max club, and if you put, you know, that max number right on the upper edge of the cup, for example, that gives you all that error tolerance in between. And then, of course, you know, the only thing that you want to make sure is not short hitting it, just a fraction. And that can be a little bit challenging to avoid, but you just want to, you know, be very careful when lining those up, because the dump can just be a risky shot. Here we are seeing this hole for the second time. A little surprising because, like I said, you know, the distribution is usually pretty even of the holes. In fact, you've seen the par 3s, we've seen all one time, so. So let's see if I can't improve just a little bit on this hole. I usually do this one with, you see how I usually did the sniper with 4? I usually do 1 backspin on the backbone. And towards the max distance, you're looking at right around 1.1 per ring. Now I am going to go just a little bit less than 3 rings here. So you will not see me go full max adjustment here. It plays a little bit uphill. Perfect ball. And that's too much. Crap. I should have taken a little bit off of that. Like I said, you know, distance-wise, I like just barely getting it up the hill, and then it's still, when you miss to the left like that, it still gives it a second hurrah. But you can see once you get up a yard or two, you almost have to intentionally be playing that shot, where I can do it more accidentally if I get the speed right. I haven't hit a backbone in a while, so as you can see, I was just a little bit off on the way that I set up to do it. I put it in a little bit too deep. I didn't want it to stop short. Like I said, you know, I only get a backbone on this hole maybe once every 20 times I play it, so it's a pretty rare thing to see. You'll be able to do it every time if you could just put on power balls. So let's see what this looks like, and there you can see, ooh, just a little bit short. So if you can match that speed to where, you know, perfect ball goes in, and then 1 ring to the left kind of still goes in, that's like an optimal shot. Like, that's the way that I like to try to set my shot up for. And here we are playing this hole again, my favorite. No, it's actually not, because I don't like, you know, exactly what you saw happen to Kenny is what I hate about this hole. The fact that that happens on this hole makes it a little bit annoying to play this one. But I do like to set up more in this dark spot here. You can see my ball trail going down that dark ring. And then I'll play more towards max distance here. Pretty close to 3 rings for my adjustment. Just coming in over the lip. So let's see if Kenny can't roll this one in. We are getting this, so this is the second time we got it. We've got 2 hard winds. Both of these are a little bit challenging to actually get it to drop. I brought it in with a little bit more speed this time than the last time. I usually do like just kind of easing it on up to the hole from time to time. It makes things a little bit better in case you do miss to where it would have stopped just a tiny bit closer. Oh no, what the? Oh my God. Oh my God. I cannot believe. So that is just bad luck, hitting the fringe both times. And that's, the thing that drives me crazy. I think, yesterday I was playing this setup and same thing happened to me. So, it just, you get it real close to that fringe, and that's the way that you play the shot, because it just bumps and goes towards the hole. But from time to time you just see, those bad breaks happen. So let's see if I can't get this up there. I usually do mine with the hook just to get the ball rolling to the right and a little bit more momentum. Of course, I did land that a little bit short there. Still had pretty good run out. So this is a big reason as to why you'll see guys actually go with Saturn, is for this hole. This is one of like 2 holes specifically. The other one is that par 5. If they get in there from time to time on an easy wind, you can put it in rather easily with a Saturn. I prefer going at this one with just a straightforward pitch. It's just kind of my preferred method for this one. So that's what you're probably going to see me do. Oh. So that was within a fraction of being perfect. Here, especially with a straight wind here, I definitely like just kind of going at this a little bit more normal. It's about a 1 ring adjustment, a little bit less. So Kenny getting a bunch of bad breaks here. Let's see if luck can't change a little bit on this one. This hole, I'm going to try to hook a little bit better than last time we saw it. I'm surprised we haven't seen that 1 par 5 yet. That's one of my favorite ones to show up on me, even though I don't like it. It shows up on me all the time. Let me readjust that. So right here, here, and here. So as you can see, I'm using my usual approach, which is like 3 stacked bullseyes for my aim, using the setting up on more of the right edge. And here I got it around the corner just a little bit better this time. So I shouldn't have to worry about being at max distance for that dunk. So I should be inside that now that I got it around the bend a little bit better. So both of those look good enough, I'm assuming. He's more towards max distance, but I think he's inside too. And you can see here's my max distance number. I'm a little in from that, so I might play it more like 1.8 per ring, which is going to be probably about 1 ring. So you're probably going to see me set up 1 ring on the cup. And got it again. So let's see if Kenny can't get this one as well. I'm assuming he should be right at, very similar to, just into Saturn. So this is another reason that, Saturn can be okay. It's not the end of the world that you have to go into long iron distance here. You can still get the dunk. Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Was that 5 or was that 6? That might have been 6. Let me see if that was 6. It might have been 6. I was not keeping good track. Let me see. Yep, that was 6. So, unlucky breaks. I feel bad, but congratulations, Kenny, at making it to the finals. And it's definitely well played. To see the names that people had to go through. It's going through the Tommies, the Jonies, the Richard Wileys. It's going through the top 32 players, and to make it to the finals just feels good to be here. And like I said, if you guys are interested in joining the tour, it is a Facebook group, and there's also a Facebook page, but we actually play on the group. So definitely know the distinction between a group and a page if you are looking it up. But well played to all the people that played this tournament. And I just, got lucky at the right times and played pretty sound a little bit, throughout too. And, I'll like to see the rest of you in future events. So, I'm sure I'll be seeing, a lot of these same guys over and over. We'll be playing again. They'll get their revenge on me. So it always happens. I either see these guys later in Tour 11 or they always get their revenge back. So just sometimes the way that the breaks go. But, thanks everybody for joining. If you have not subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so at any time, or comment on this video and give it a thumbs up if you like the content. Be on the lookout for future streams and future tutorial videos that I put up for you guys. So I'm always trying to look out for your guys' best interests, give you guys the best content out there that I can provide. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And see you guys on the next one. Good luck out there, everybody.